Hello there, WhatCulture viewers. As always, whether it be a 1 day pause or a 1 week pause or whenever, I'm always going to have episodes. I'm Dash Island, and of course, you're listening to Dash's Call, my podcast. Alright, so I would have had something for Friday, but been a weird week. Plus, I have been insanely busy because there's stuff I gotta do. There's a bunch of classwork, there's work, working on my own little side project that hopefully is going to make me some money. And then spending some quality time with quality people. And so it's been difficult to make videos. Plus, there's also a deal that it's hard to come up with topics, really. But I've got some topics that I can actually talk about for this one. So it might be a little bit of the standard episode length I try to make. But anyways, before we gotta get through the shtick where make sure to subscribe to the channel and what have you. Anyways, let's get into it. Song of the week, "World at Our Feet" by Timmy Trumpet, which this song to me is what attention is to my girlfriend. It's actually funny, so like I can't stop watching the music video for attention by Shinedown. And really, almost every time I go to my girlfriend's place, she would play "World at Our Feet" by Timmy Trumpet. I'm like, this song is a freaking sea shanty. It's a sea shanty. I look it up, I'm like, is it a sea shanty that the music is based off of? I couldn't find anything. Otherwise, I gotta admit that song is really freaking good. It's catchy, and it's already rooted into my head now. Damn. So yeah, the song of the week, "World at Our Feet" by Timmy Trumpet. Let's get into it. First topic of this episode. I saw The Joker the other day. My God, it is a masterpiece work of art. Pièce de résistance. It's a solid 2 hour film, and every moment of it just had me at the edge of my seat. I loved it. It's a film that did not bore me one bit. And that's in stark contrast to the game. Like, people are talking. At first, I thought that people were embellishing it that Joaquin Phoenix deserved an Oscar for this film, but then I see it and I'm like, shit, Joaquin Phoenix deserves more than a freaking Oscar. Oh my God. Because he did so much for the film. He portrays being a psychopath so well. And I think that's because of all the unfortunate, screwed up stuff that he's had to see. And Joaquin Phoenix has always been an actor that I've appreciated and respected because of movies like Walk the Line. Like, it's one of my favorite movies with Joaquin Phoenix, but now my number one movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. And this isn't your run-in-film comic. It's not your run-in-the-mill comic book movie. It really isn't. It's something. Joaquin Phoenix, not only did he go to that twisted place in his mind, but he lost I think 50 pounds for that role. And it was noticeable, but it fits so well. And this is a movie that had no CGI, really whatsoever. The more focus was in building the city, all the film, whatnot. And I did not expect this from Todd Phillips, because Todd Phillips is known for the movie Hangover trilogy, the movies of the Hangover trilogy. But then again, the Hangover trilogy didn't really use CGI at all either. But Todd Phillips directing this movie, bravo! He did a fantastic job. I don't have much to critique about it. It's just one of those good things. Plus, even though it wasn't intended, whether or not it's going to have a sequel, it definitely sets some stuff up to hang you on. Because, of course, if you get a movie with full closure and no questions at the end, what's the point? And I'm not going to give spoilers. Not this time. You need to see it for yourself. I tell you, it's weird. There was also, the deal that was surrounding, like, oh, it's going to make people predisposed to violence or whatever. No. Stop blaming movies. Stop blaming video games. It's just a movie. I don't think anyone in their right mind would have thought about violence. Everyone with a sane mind, just like, oh, this is a screwed up guy, and this is how he gets from point A to point B in the timeline of Batman villains. That's it. No one's sympathetic to him. And while people were disturbed, I wasn't. But then again, I've seen some screwed up things. If people are claiming it glorifies violence, it does not. Like, it doesn't glorify violence, it just shows this and that. It's all about storytelling. There's no support for it. Another thing I like is that it doesn't have anything political to it, really. I know I'm not supposed to talk politics, but I'm just discussing the film and things I've noticed in films from Hollywood in the past. Like, it's nonpartisan in its political cause. It's not aiming to appeal to a certain audience or anything. It's just whatever is in there, it's all for the sake of storytelling. Like, I was surprised that Zazie Beetz was in there. And I freaking enjoyed Zazie Beetz from Deadpool 2. I'm like, holy crap, is that Domino? Yes, it's fucking Domino. Well, shit, there goes the monetization. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to give the spoiler. It's Zazie Beetz' character just completely being non-existent towards the end. That was something. And leaving it up in the air as to whether or not Thomas Wayne is really Arthur Fleck's father. It's something. It left us hanging. And through all those gory moments, I was like, oh shit, and whatnot. It really had me going. I know my brother said he loved it whenever he saw it. My father has yet to see it. I know he'll love it because he's the reason why I love gory movies. Jeez, I drink Dr. Pepper like water. But it's one of those movies in Hollywood, one of the rare ones, where it's a movie that values substance over everything else. It is a movie. And I'm not going to get into that bullcrap where we're like, we live in a society. Everyone's saying it. It's such a weird statement. We live in a society. I'm not going to rant, but all I'm going to say is the thing that I've been saying for the duration of the video. And I didn't really care much for Robert De Niro's character, but then again, it's kind of a little nice nod to Taxi Driver and whatnot. But it's a nice little thing to have in it. But that scene where Joker just rants and then kills Robert De Niro's character, that was intense and insane. I loved it. That gives thumbs up from me. Just in the sake of the gore in it, that movie was not afraid to hold back at all. This makes it's a serious contender up against Heath Ledger for Best Joker. Now, I've never looked at the Mark Hamill Joker, nor do I really care, because I was never a fan of. I never really did want to get into animated superhero stuff. The only animated superhero TV show or movie that I ever liked, really, was Into the Spider-Verse. That's a special exception. But I've never really heard Mark Hamill, so I can't really qualify him whenever it comes down to this. But whenever it comes up against Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger was a bit edgy. And yes, he did really look the part of insane and whatnot, but Joaquin Phoenix just blows it away. Like, he's just not afraid, and that cackle is terrifying. Like, I loved it. I just hear it, and I'm like, this is just something. And at first you think this is out of place in the movie, but then they added in a more realistic effect where he has this neurological condition from spawned from abuse, where he laughs at inappropriate times that don't match his mood at all. There's so much to it. There's so many different levels, because I watched a video from the Critical Drinker. You can see his video where he says that Joker was probably his movie of the year 2019. He does mention that there's so many different levels to the movie. Like, so many different levels to the mannerisms of Joaquin Phoenix portrayal. So many, like, you can see in his eyes how he changes it up. And the dancing is weird, but it's just so good because it adds to the insanity of the character. And I might be able to learn something since my side project involves writing a character that is practically insane. And while I'm trying to maintain realism in the story that I'm writing, there's just pure semi-supernatural thriller fiction. It's just, Joker is damn good. I can't say it enough. Alright, moving on to next topic. WWE Hell in a Cell 2019. Piece of shit pay-per-view of 2019. It actually caused John to be so ticked off that he's now done with WWE. He said, I'm canceling the subscription. I'm not watching this anymore. And, I can agree with him. We're both going to defect to just watching AEW anymore. I don't even watch Raw, SmackDown, or NXT anymore. Because it's become tiresome. It feels like a chore to watch them. Like, you just either I want to go to sleep or I actually want to do some work right now. Rather than watch whatever dragged out bullcrap this is. Nothing can really make it exciting anymore. And with Hell in a Cell's lackluster performance, Vince McMahon put the final nail in WWE's coffin. Because so many people have actually unsubscribed to the WWE network now. There are so many Twitter reactions and whatnot. X-Pac and Ryback are two noticeable stars that actually expressed their hate of how it ended. There was a funny tweet that came from Brazzers of all places, basically telling WWE, hey, if you want to know how to come up with, hey, if you want advice for great and coherent storylines that have a satisfying finish, give us a call. That's an excellent troll, but there's so much truth to that. We had to laugh. But seriously, it was lackluster because there are only 4 announced matches beforehand, and everything else was just so unannounced that people really could not care at all. Now, Becky and Sasha, they put on a heck of a performance. Like, they really play up the game. They could have shown more, but at least in this women's Hell in a Cell match, they actually broke a table. Because if you're wondering what I'm referencing, Hell in a Cell 2016, it was Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, I believe. And one of them tried to put together a third table. It did not work whatsoever. Like, it failed to break. Even whenever the tables are already perforated before matches so they break easy. Instead of you having to look like those videos of drunk people trying to power slam someone through a table. And the table doesn't break, but that guy's back does. But that was a good match. I will say that. I'm just going to run through the results and put in what I think. Because, I mean, for a good bit of the pay-per-view, for a good part of the pay-per-view, I was asleep. Because I was under some stress. Yeah, pre-show, the Natalya versus Lacey Evans. I don't think anyone cared about like that, because I don't even know what was the point. I mean, yeah, we're giving Natalia a win. So basically, we have officially buried Lacey Evans after she's no longer important with the title scene. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns defeating Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. I'm actually told that was a really good match. I didn't see half of it, plus we were having some technical difficulties with the viewing. But you know what? It gets enough. It's an okay match. I didn't care about Randy Orton versus Ali anymore. Like, I can't stand Randy Orton anymore. It's just, he's become unbearable as just, he's just now used for burying superstars. Because he basically buried Mustafa Ali now. That sucks. Women's Tag Team Championship. Kabuki Warriors defeated Bliss Cross. Why are we calling them the Kabuki Warriors? That's just so odd. But this was another match that I didn't really care for at all. But I'm actually glad that they are moving Women's Tag Team Championship titles around. But the thing is that still, they're not treating these titles right. They're like, okay, we just need these titles so we can create buzz, so we can get ratings up, but we failed. And now we have to live with our consequences. Yeah. Then we had Viking Raiders and Braun Strowman against the OC, which this match I didn't care for at all. But the end, I loved it. I seriously loved it because Braun Strowman, like, AJ is going for something at one point. Braun just clocks him straight in the face, and he just sells it so well. And he's like always falling, and Gallows and Anderson have to help him through and whatnot. Another clap to the microphone. That was something else. AJ Styles, yeah, he definitely deserved the mantle of being the next Nature Boy. If you don't know, first there was one guy who was the first Nature Boy. I can't remember who was. Then Ric Flair took that mantle, but then Ric Flair gave it to AJ Styles whenever he was in TNA. But AJ Styles is one of those wrestlers that you can never really hate because he makes whatever he can work. Chad Gable defeated King Corbin. That was actually satisfying. I mean, I'm tired of Baron Corbin, and I can't get behind Chad Gable because one, his character has been so buried in a doghouse for years, and the short hair, I keep forgetting it's Chad Gable. And what even was it that they decided Baron Corbin to attack him afterwards? Why did they even push Baron Corbin? It's the most useless bullcrap ever. Then we had Charlotte beating Bayley. Like, what is this? We are in clown or honk honk. I thought we were going to make Bayley a serious champion. And instead we give it to the entitled Charlotte again, who keeps rupturing her breast implants. Except whenever they said, oh, this is Charlotte's 10th title, I just couldn't help but to think of Surf's Up, which Surf's Up is on Netflix, and I love that movie from my childhood. No, you gotta go with the grain. Reliving. But I just couldn't help but to think of Tank in his collection. He's like, this one is saved for a number 10, Leah. Listen to that, Leah. It just made me think of it, because I'm pretty sure without much Charlotte likes title reigns or substance. Now, she is a great wrestler and whatnot, but we need to start giving the title to people who actually deserve it. Ember Moon. Ember Moon deserves the title. I think you can agree with me. And I've been wanting to see Ember Moon have a title shot, or at least the Money in the Bank briefcase, ever since she got onto the main roster. I know people in my friend group, one of them, he was asking, is Finn Balor in NXT because they have nothing better to do with him and they're going to bury him there, or because they want to get the ratings up? To me, I think it's both. Because on Raw, he barely had shit. Like, he jobbed out to The Fiend, which I had no problem with, but after that, it was just, eh. And in the past, they couldn't make it work as the Intercontinental Champion because he got shit booking given to him from creative. It was all over the place. And then finally, this is the match that pissed off everyone. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. Like, it was going good, except Bray Wyatt ended up becoming Bray Wyatt again because Vince is afraid to push him. Because he's afraid it's going to happen again like they did in 2017. No, if you keep going the way you do with The Fiend and whatnot, you won't have him be a lackluster champion. He will be a great champion. That's something that Vince doesn't understand. And he refuses to listen to the audience to the point that they're unsubscribing. Like, it was an okay match. Like, what I loved is how there's those no cells that make The Fiend look like an absolute demon. I would love to see The Fiend up against Brock Lesnar, no doubt. And it's aggravating. Like, I love the kendo sticks, the mount, the tables and shit. Like, it was such a good match. Up until the point at the ending, like, Seth Rollins was doing some crazy shit. Like, first, he puts in a chair shot, then ladder chair shot, like, slam the ladder in the face, and then toolbox ladder chair shot, and then he went for a sledgehammer Triple H style. But the ref was like, no, you can't do that. Which was the dumbest shit. Second year in a row. Bullshit ending for Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Let's recall the 2018 Hell in a Cell, where it ended basically in TKO no contest because Brock Lesnar interfered. Usually in a Hell in a Cell, as a no DQ match and whatnot, you gotta wait until they get back up so that you can keep fighting until someone wins. And this was even worse, okay? Because Seth Rollins took that sledgehammer to Bray's face. I liked seeing it, and then the referee called off the match. That's bullshit. That's stupidest. Ugh, it was aggravating. At this point, WWE has officially put that nail in their coffin. Now people are defecting to AEW because AEW can put on a better show. Like, AEW just had its premiere. It's better than anything WWE has put on in the past 2 years since I returned to watching them. Laurie, I thought the early 2010s were bad, but the late 2010s, ugh, it's just utter trash. And the weirdest thing is that data actually proves that Jinder Mahal was a better champion than Seth Rollins, from what I'm told. That it's sad to hear. It's just Seth Rollins is lackluster now. They're tired of the same bullcrap. Put it on The Fiend, make it a horror show, and just give it to someone different. It's going to be a hell of a ride, and people will love it. And then after that, as Bray is being lifted on a gurney, he decides to put the mandible claw on Seth. The only up to that is that Seth just has this blood just coming out of his mouth as the mandible claw happens. Now, I get that, but they could have done that during the match to have Bray win instead of just bury Bray once again and not give him the respect he deserves. It was a shit ending. My God. Worst pay-per-view of 2019, I swear to God. But yeah, Joker is a movie you should definitely see. And you should definitely go to AEW, where people like Jon Moxley is putting people like Kenny Omega through a glass coffee table, literally. Because at least there, they ain't afraid to go so far in their matches. And they probably have insurance there, unlike WWE. I wish I could have seen Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon ladder match out in a cell, but they ruined it. Yeah, John and I are basically defecting from AEW. But, that's the show, folks. I just got word on text. I'm not going to go into full details, but please keep your thoughts and please give your most thoughts and prayers towards Hal and his family. So I can say it. I definitely give my thoughts to him, and I can't say much. but just keep them in your thoughts and whatnot. It's a rough time that there is, so I'm going to keep it at that. But yeah, as the usual shtick for this channel, if you like this video, give it a like. I don't care. Comment for any suggestions. I don't know. And that's all. And share it if you want to. I doubt you're going to share it, because why would you share this podcast of all places? And subscribe to the channel for more content. Hopefully I'll be making videos other than this one at the time. Other than reaction videos. I'll probably get around to doing some more music history stuff. I really do. But for the time being, I've been way too busy. But yeah, I have been Dash Island, and you have been listening to Dash's Call. We'll see you next time.